So today's video is going to be about one of my favorite artists, David Hockney, and especially about how he went about painting in the Yorkshire sketchbooks. And I just adore his work, and I love the way he was able to go out on plein air and just look at the big scene and then just kind of break it down, simplify things. And so I want to demystify part of that process for you today by breaking things down into big shapes, simplifying the color palette, and really looking at his glorious mark making and just making the process a little bit more accessible for you. So I want to talk about this book, David Hockney, A Yorkshire Sketchbook, pretty briefly, just because I've already reviewed this book on my channel, and I'm going to link to it in the description box below if you want to check it out further. But I did want to go over a few things because I want to just kind of talk about what I want to focus on as big takeaways in this video when we're working. So I just really adore Hockney's work for so many reasons, but he has a way of going out on location and just getting down to the real important things in a scene. And he does that in a number of ways, and I really adore this book. It's one of my very favorites. I love looking at artists' sketchbooks anyway, but this is just a gem. And one of the things he does that I adore is that he can look at a big scene and he breaks it down into big shapes, values, which is the difference between light and dark of any given color. And then he does some really wonderful mark making. And then he also, as we go through this particular book, he starts to get into doing just little pops of complementary colors, which I adore. But his, he can really edit it out and focus on the big picture really easily. So here he's adding in some complementary pops of color. He's added the cadmium red in, and again, the just glorious, very varied mark making. It's very reminiscent of Van Gogh's ink drawings, which I also really adore. Here he's using mostly a blue-gray and some green, and then he's got the complementary cadmium red again, and it's just really dynamic but very simple. And this is mostly green with the cadmium red again. It's just really beautiful. So he gets he's able to just look at these things and just see what's most important, and then leave the rest behind. But always this just beautiful mark making and big washes of color, big shapes. He sees the big shapes and he's able to capture a lot without doing a lot of work, which is amazing. He's just really great at it. So those are the things I kind of wanted to talk about. This is a great book. It's been out for quite a while, so it's readily available, and I have a link in the description box below to this book if you want to purchase your own, or you can just watch the complete flip on my page if you want to see more of it. So sometimes when you're looking at a scene and you're on location and you're working on plein air, it can be very overwhelming as to, finding what you want to crop down into your picture, or what's going to fit in your sketchbook or your drawing pad. and it can be a little bit confusing. It is a whole different thing from drawing from observation, like if you set up a still life, or if you're working from a photograph. It's a whole different way to look when you're in an expansive outdoor situation. So a lot of times I will have my students bring like an old mat like this, and you just hold it out at arm's length, and it just all of a sudden becomes a whole lot easier to find, the view that you want to capture. So that's just one thing. You could throw this in your little art box or bag, whatever you carry out with you. I have a few things I've been working on. These are pictures I took back there that I've been working on. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I often do things like this, which is I take the photograph and then I just simply try to simplify this picture by drawing out the shapes with like a Stabilo pencil or something. So I've got a red Stabilo pencil here, and then this will draw on anything. And then I have 4 scenes here. And so you want to simplify the shapes. Now shadows can be shapes too. So I sometimes really love going out when there's some really big shadows, and look at the difference in the value here with a really almost black, which not quite black, but almost black shadow next to this really such a light value, like a spring green grass with the sun shining so bright here. And so you get these really beautiful shapes. So I really like to look at those shapes because that's how you break down a big scene like this. You just kind of go in, and then I like to just come in and capture those shapes, those different shapes, and then just draw them, okay? So if I see different trees or shapes or whatever I see that's different, I'm just going to capture that stuff here with my red Stabilo. I want to see those shapes. I want to see what's happening. And then I'm just going to draw that in. And it just makes everything a lot easier when you go to draw your composition on a piece of paper. It kind of pre-draws it for you. And now you know that, these are the shapes I'm going to capture. It kind of clarifies things, and it breaks it down into little components. And it's a lot easier to take those shapes now and put those onto your paper rather than being overwhelmed at all the stuff that's happening. I can even see a little bush that's in front of this tree now. And I love the fact that I could see all these little, which you can't see on camera, I'm sure, but I can see all these little stems, which was something that I really love about looking at this particular scene. So those need to go in. So, yeah, it's really fun, but this really I find this really helpful. Okay, so here's one I did. This is just a very simple little study, and it's big shapes. You can see the big shapes with the light and dark values and lots of mark making, just simplified. And it's got a little pop of pink color in there. This is one from my back meadow. And I think I did the same scene in color pencil. So you don't have to use watercolor. I mean, Hockney was using watercolor for all of these, but I sometimes will like to try a couple different things. Sometimes I'll do them in Neocolor crayon, but I'm really looking at shapes, value, mark making, And sometimes it's helpful for me to look at it in different mediums. So I'll draw one, then I'll paint one, and okay. And then, let's see, do I have another one? I have the one in the sketchbook. And then I did this scene, which was also back there. I think it's on here. I think I might have taken a little bit. Oh, I think it might be this one. So anyway, I did this one from back there with the big shadows, which I really like that one. Because I just love the shapes of the shadow, and I liked how the sky looked that particular day. We've been getting really good weather. But then after I have all the shapes and everything down, then I'll go in at the very end and really start to layer in the mark making. This all has to be really dry to come back in with the mark making, because if the paper is damp at all, it's just going to disappear. So what I normally do is I will go in and I will block out my big shapes and just get a basic composition down, and then I'll start adding in my lightest values, my mid-tone values, and then I will block in the shapes of the darkest values and slowly deepen those values. And then at the very end, I will check my values to see if my darks are as dark as they need to be, and then I will add the mark making at the very end. So there is an underdrawing here that you really can't see, but I did block out all the shapes of everything that's going in here before I started to paint. And the other reason I paint around the page is because things have to dry, okay? And when I'm doing watercolors, I always, you have to be really patient before you can layer over things. And if I need to, I either let it dry or I blow it dry with a blow dryer, because you can't really put marks over something when things are damp. So that if I'm outside, things dry really quickly. If I'm in the studio, I need to use the blow dryer. And that's a really important thing to remember when you're doing any kind of layering with watercolor. And so like everything I'm adding the mark making over now is really dry, and same with checking the values. Just take a minute to dry your paper before adding the mark making, otherwise it will absorb into the wet paper and disappear. So whenever I'm working from the works of a great master or being inspired by the works of a master painter whose work I admire, I really end up learning so much. And in the case of Hockney, there's so much about his work that I really like, and there's so much of it is similar in the way that I work. Like I'm very much into value and color and just kind of breaking down the elements into shapes and form, and I'm really big on composition, so like so much of what he does really appeals to me. I really recommend to everyone, finding artists that you love and even just doing a few pieces in the manner of that artist, because you will learn so much about color, composition, just so much about how they worked and, their painting style, just by observing what they did in their own work. And you will grow from it. Don't think of it like copying. Think of it as another way to grow your own art practice. Learn a new process or technique. Always stay open, stay curious, and your art will continue to evolve and expand. Check the description box below for links to the materials and the book I discussed in the video. Thank you for being here, and please come again soon.